Do you want to get your business seen on the big screen? Have more eyes see who you are? Is your budget holding you back, keeping you from advertising your business? Maybe it's time you contacted Crossroads TV. Inexpensive 10-day campaign, pinpoint accuracy for demographics and geography, and the ability to select some or all of their partnered streaming services. Call us, 207-453-9895.
All right. Good evening and welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas on the table near the entrance or online at the city's website. Consent agenda items are routine items which are voted on in one motion in vote. Unfinished or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given the opportunity for questions or comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section of our agenda for up to 3 minutes. Kicking us off tonight will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next up, disclosure of conflict of interest. Any councilors have any conflict of interest on any of the votes that they will take this evening? Seeing none, first up tonight we actually have a presentation, Colby College Bram Public Policy Lab update on the Community Paramedicine Program. Chief, good evening.
Sorry. Okay if I kick us off?
Of course, yes. Thank you.
All right. You get to listen to I have this chest cold all of a sudden. So bear with me, please.
Yeah.
DC Flannery wasn't able to be here tonight. I sent him home because he doesn't feel good. So he had a prepared statement that I'd like to just read, and we'll kick it over to Colby. The Colby Policy Lab analysis of our CP program data was a collaboration made possible by Nate Bernard, who's also not here tonight, but he's having, well, we believe, a baby, and I'm so happy for him. So Nate, if you're listening to us, congratulations. Nate approached the city and our department to find grants for our essential programming. This CP, he latched onto this, and he has been amazing to work with. Mm-hmm. While we knew he was doing this as part of a graduate program at USM, we had complete buy-in from Nate and his desire to help enhance community health initiatives. Nate, with his contacts at Colby College, and specifically Nick, At the policy lab, we had a pathway to finally have our community paramedicine data analyzed. A way to interpret what we're doing and how we're doing it is what many agencies don't have access to. A way to take data, make some conclusions, assumptions, and if we're lucky, some correlations. In the end, we have a better idea of what our CP program is doing here in the city of Waterville. I'm thankful for the work that Nick and Nate have put in with their efforts, including Nick's students at Colby Public Policy Lab. Thank you. Who have not only analyzed the data, but also were able to accompany our community paramedicine providers on duty. I hope the council and the citizens of Waterville appreciate what we're doing and that we have, hopefully, sustainable funding well into the future. What they've done is a big step to get us there, so I'm super excited to hear what they have to say tonight. So, without further ado, thank you.
Just a reminder, I resist my professorial urge to profess. We will be quick tonight and really try to leave it up to questions. Yeah, well, first, thank you. With all sincerity, this was a pilot opportunity for us. Just 3 months ago, I was here. From our perspective, it's been a real proof of concept, and later on in the agenda is the next one. And then I hope the next one after that, because this has been a real important part of the work that I'm doing in my lab, and I see it as an important part of a growing relationship between Colby and the city of Waterville. So yeah, these data are already informing legislative testimony. We have new grant applications that are going out. For me, this was about working with people and really seeing if we could do this with the city of Waterville, testing the waters of relationships. I echo everything about Nate Bernard. He's been an outstanding collaborator whose enthusiasm for this work has been unmatched. I would be mad but not surprised if he walked through the door carrying a little child, because he is that committed to this project. And Fire and EMS have been great partners. They brought in students not just for the analysis but for ride-alongs. They got to see government in action. That's what I care about. So now that said, while I've come to like these guys very much, and their stories do pull on my heartstrings, I assure you they did not pull on my calculators. What we are presenting tonight is just it's not a moral argument, it's not a this should continue, it's just to give the city a better sense of the fiscal picture surrounding community paramedicine. And the reason we want to present this particular aspect of our work is almost all the fiscal studies of community paramedicine are done at the state level. That's because most savings show up in Medicaid reimbursements or hospital cost reductions. We had to figure out a different model for understanding how this affects municipal budgets. Under what conditions does community paramedicine break even within just the confined structure of a municipal EMS budget? And that's a harder question. we try to be very transparent in how we approached it. We're using very conservative estimates. We're not reverse engineering a savings number. We try to put all of our assumptions and make them very transparent in the memorandum the lab prepared for you. And in fact, actually, we're not using assumptions. What we're identifying is what would have to be true for this program to pay for itself. And then asking whether those conditions are realistic. Because the truth is, I can't tell you if this program saves you money, because I don't know in a strict sense how many 911 calls or how much utilization of EMS services were prevented as a result of community paramedicine being active in the city. We just don't know. What I can tell you, and to do that, I'm going to introduce the data whiz behind this project, Alina Madyarova, who's a physics and mathematics double major hoping to do a career in health policy research modeling. What we do think we know is what needs to be true in order for the city to save money. So I couldn't have done this work without her. I'm happy to introduce her, and I'll let her walk you through the first half of the report.
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, so in order to understand the community paramedicine program here in Waterville, we need to first understand who this program is serving. So most of the individuals in the community paramedicine program are kind of people who were visited once or visited at a hospital, and then their provider recommended them to kind of have a follow-up appointment at their home. However, a small subset of these individuals are what we can call high utilizers. So these are individuals who have used EMS 4 or more times within a year. So the high utilizers have the highest savings potential. So we wanted to analyze their behavior before and after their first community paramedicine visit. That brings me to this chart. We analyzed kind of before and after over 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, before and after a high utilizer's first community paramedicine visit to kind of see their behavior over time. High utilizers, on average, spent 2.5 months in the community paramedicine program. We ran some averages, found some percentages. We found that in 3 months and 6 months, the majority of high utilizers who were in the community paramedicine program had a decrease in EMS utilizations. I want to direct your attention to the very bottom row of the table, which is a ratio. Essentially, a number greater than 1 indicates that there was a decrease in EMS calls for high utilizers. A number less than 1 indicates there was an increase in calls for EMS utilizers. So over 3 months, the first ratio is 1.88. So this is essentially the time during which most of the high utilizers were in the community paramedicine program. We saw a significant decrease per individual in EMS calls, comparing before and after 3 months after their first community paramedicine visit. This positive effect continues into 6 months, but is not as strong at a ratio of 1.07. And then 12 months in, we see a ratio of 0.81, suggesting that the positive effects of community paramedicine may last after the individuals have stopped seeing, but they're not permanent.
So with these data on utilization, which is actually the hard thing to calculate, I got to do the easy calculations on what an average visit costs, working with the fire department and EMS, what non-billable or what the non-billable EMS response over the last couple of years has been, their tax subsidy, and combining all that together, we're basically able to do a break-even analysis that calculates how many avoided non-billable EMS calls would be required to offset the funding that goes into community paramedicine currently. All of these estimates are very conservative. They're the lowest bound fiscal effects. A lot of the individuals, in other words, that are in community paramedicine, if they call an ambulance, they're not getting reimbursed at average. They're getting reimbursed at a much lower average. I'm just using the citywide average. We're assuming very modest prevention rates that aren't coming from theory, but from what we believe community paramedicine actually prevented. And here's the story I can tell you. So imagine a typical day for this community paramedicine crew. They go and visit 5 households. One is a woman on Medicare who these guys know because every time she's short of breath, she gives them a call. The second is a resident who's on Medicaid who can't see a PCP because the hospital closed. They don't have a PCP person anymore. Someone's uninsured, referred by the urgent care after stepping on a nail. 2 other households. If a community paramedicine visit prevents 2 of those households from calling 911, the program saves the city money. If the program prevents calls from more than 2, it has a positive fiscal effect. That's not changing the reimbursement rate, which there's legislation I know at the state level that's thinking about that. That's not assuming cost efficiencies that come from moving from overtime to a full-time person. That's just given the current structure of community paramedicine right now. So I'll end there and happy to answer any questions. Also, my door is always open. My email is always up. If you want to take your time and look through the memorandum, look through our our calculations. Happy to continue the conversation at another date and time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any councilors have a question at this point while we have them here, or Councilor Beal?
Just curious, what would be the next step if we wanted to consider taking advantage of this?
So the next steps that are already being acted upon, which Nate is really taking the lead on, is finding money to support this through grant funding. We have grant applications that already went through. We're in the process of finding more. Our hope, which I think is realized, is that a lot of these grantors like to see that you're keeping good accounting and you're tracking your progress. And I think we can actually say that the city of Waterville is doing that now. I don't begrudge anybody for not doing it. They're actually saving people, helping people. We're just crunching numbers. But we have a process in place for doing that, and I think that's the next step.
Councilor Green?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is really awesome. I want to make sure I understand the results that you're sharing, because I'm not 100% sure on how we're funding community paramedicine right now. I believe we have grant funding for it currently. So the implied savings of a community paramedicine call versus a 911 call assumes that the city isn't investing in the community paramedicine program. Is that?
Well, right now, since it is all, to the best of my knowledge, funded by an external grant, it's
Okay.
all gravy.
Yeah.
If this
Okay.
ever became a part of the municipal budget, that is what would have to be true in order for cost savings to be realized against revenues, EMS revenues.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating data, so thank you both for this.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. Any other questions at this point? Nick, thank you.
Thank you all so very
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Oh, all right, yes. You can, yes. No, yeah, you.
have to come to the.
Yeah, otherwise, no, you're fine. You
Speaking to me?
No, him right here.
Yeah, my name's Ira Mandel. I'm a retired family doctor. I spent 15 years making house calls every day. This is great. Congratulations. I just hope, and I'm sure it's in part of your plans, to collect more information such as some clinical outcomes and some satisfaction. There's other savings that can be estimated. It's not a hard science, as you know, but with clinical improvement, it offsets other costs. And it's not all about money. In the end, we're taking care of people and their satisfaction, their families, their dependents. It affects a lot of people. So I'm just saying mostly congratulations, but I wonder if you're planning to collect more information in the future.
I'm very hearing impaired, so I don't understand anything you're saying.
Okay. I'm asking if they're going to collect more information about how healthy people are and how happy they are.
So I really appreciate the comment, and I just want to take a minute, since you all are just getting to learn me and you're getting to learn a little bit about ours. I agree that, right, it's not all about dollars and cents. When Everett first explained this program to me, I mean, it was I'll give him a hard time, it was 25 minutes about the beauties of aging in place. That's a decision for you all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a dollar figure on that. I feel like that's out of line in terms of what objective analysis is. There's trade-offs on all sorts of things. That said, a major part of what we're seeing in the grant opportunities are needs to build better reporting processes in the data we collect, of which we think an important part of that data collection would be qualitative assessments, health outcomes, that would then paint a larger picture of what community paramedicine is doing beyond its effects on the municipal budget. So I very much appreciate and agree with the comment from the doctor.
Yeah, Councilor Burdick.
I'm just curious, why is there a different cost if we go as a community paramedicine versus a traditional 911 call?
So that cost for community paramedicine is currently really just what you're paying these guys in overtime.
Okay.
And some infrastructure, or not infrastructure, some equipment upgrades that all get budgeted. That's the average, that's the real cost of what it is per visit.
Okay.
given the number of visits they are. And then your EMS average rate is a lot more complicated, a function of, in simplest ways, how many 911 calls you're going out on that are not getting reimbursed by someone. And then when they are getting reimbursed, are getting reimbursed at vastly different rates. And and that ultimately informs your tax subsidy, which I saw the projections in the next fiscal year is above $900,000. And that tax subsidy is overwhelmingly concentrated among a certain group of citizens that just, when they call 911, they don't get reimbursed. And so that's where Alina's numbers that she presented factor into our understanding of high utilization. So does that help clarify?
Yeah, absolutely, thank you. And maybe this second question is better for Chief, I'm not sure. I remember we had a county-wide paramedicine program when we first were utilizing that. Are we able to serve other communities and do some sort of like reimbursement that way as well, or mostly just Waterville residents? Is there a way to expand it and maybe bring in additional revenues that way?
I don't see why not. Because it's grant funded right now, we do step outside the bounds of
Okay.
Waterville to do that. So yeah, it's possible, and we're only doing it 3 days a week right now.
Okay.
If we had a full-time position, then yes, I don't see why that would be a problem at all. And it might be something you would get other communities to step in to help also fund.
Offset the cost, yeah.
Correct.
Because I know it was pretty sad to see that leave the county budget when it left.
When was that?
Oh, gosh, a couple of years ago.
Well, when Tim was doing his
Yeah.
thing, when he was the car.
Oh, so that's MD3.
MD3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and MD3 is more for like high acuity calls.
Okay.
He comes out when a doctor would be, bad car accidents, when it's a really bad high acuity call. Having a doctor on scene, that's what MD3 does right now.
Okay.
That is still up and running and utilized throughout the county. He has different funding that he's working on. But right now, this is more of those low acuity, trying to keep people out of the hospital type of calls.
Right. Or like a follow-up after a surgery.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And we are more of that in between. Sometimes like home health, they do amazing work, but it takes them sometimes a couple weeks to be able to land on scene where we can close that gap. Because that's the time frame where if somebody is going to get readmitted to the hospital, that's a time frame that may happen. And with readmittance back into a hospital, the hospital doesn't get paid neither, so they don't want that either. So
Yeah.
this is where this program kind of steps in. We can't afford to run it 5 days a week. Right now, our model that we have, 3 days a week, and it's providers that we have in-house. They're coming in on their days off to do overtime shifts to do it.
Okay.
A lot of training goes on into this. The state stepped our training up, mandated training again this year, so even more training, but we have some pretty dedicated people that want to see this program continue.
So is it our paramedics that do a lot of that
That is
work?
correct.
And then does Dr. Pay help as well, or?
Dr. Pay does not help with that.
Ours? Okay.
Dr. Pay's wife, Amy Madden, though, is our CP clinical
Oh, okay.
coordinator. So she works with us to make sure that our program is up and running, and she takes care of that part of it. So
Awesome.
for free, thank goodness.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Councilor Green?
So is there a reverse, can you bill for these calls? No, there's no financial.
That's what we're working on
Incentive.
right now.
Right.
Tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
confirm. Yeah.
We could charge for it, but there's no pathway to
Yeah,
get
right,
reimbursed.
to get-
this bill that we're working on would give us a pathway to do that. We have great support. Fingers crossed, you're right. Because we're not the only CP program that is, I mean, it costs money to run a program like this, but I think the benefits are huge, especially for a population like the city of Waterville, where we have an aging population, where we've tried to do an age-in-place initiatives. I really think that this program works. It's just like anything, it requires funding. And we've been fortunate. We've gotten grants to do this. We're applying for grants as we speak. We have been denied on one of them, but that's okay. It hasn't stopped Nate at all, believe me. And we're going to keep pushing forward until the day that we just don't have any funding for it, because we do. This program, I believe, in the small increments that we're doing, it has been wildly successful, and I'd hate to see us lose it.
Quick question, like, so you mentioned that release from hospital, that first period of time is of importance, yet the hospitals are 2 to 3 weeks out from seeing somebody that has been newly discharged, right? So,
Like home health, yeah, those type of agencies.
right, well, I mean, that's typically, I mean, in a lot of these cases, some of these would be, that would be the next step for them, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
they wouldn't follow up. So I guess my question is that if the hospitals aren't getting the ability to make money, or not make money, but like, bill again for a readmission, why haven't we seen them step up and, either fund or or increase their ability for home health, or, hey, we can't do it, but you guys are filling the gap. Like, if I'm the hospital and you guys are filling the gap, why would I
Yes.
why would I look to boost up the program, which is essential?
Yep, I totally understand what you're saying. We actually had started that process with Inland, and then obviously they closed. I think part of the problem now is the landscape of healthcare in general. They're not willing to put money towards anything that doesn't have to do with them, and I'm not saying that's the case. That's just what we're seeing. I would like to partner with the hospitals if they so choose, but they have not wanted to do that at this time. I think that we need to continue those conversations, though, and I think that this type of data that we've collected now is something that we can definitely go to them, though, with more data. Because me just going to somebody and saying, hey, I think that this works great, well, that's all fine and dandy, but I think data like that we have now may help us be able to go and ask for help like that, to say, are you willing to invest in this program? Because this is what we believe it does, and now we have the data to show this is what it does. So yes, I don't disagree with you at all.
Oh, okay, just curious, thank you. All right, any other questions from Councilor Beal?
I just want to, my understanding of what you said is that the city could potentially save money through this program based on your preliminary assessment of the data. That the $900,000 subsidy that we pay for the EMS would perhaps be reduced by reducing the number of 911 calls. Is that your assessment?
Correct. Yeah. Currently, it is not, because the funding for this program is all external grants, so it's all net positive. A generous estimate, it's only going to put a small hole in that rather large tax subsidy, unless there were some real efficiencies, if you got that cost per visit down, which I think they have ideas on how to do. And if there was any amount of reimbursement from the state, that all hits the municipal budget line significantly as well. But yeah, even if this is preventing for every 5 visits, if it's preventing 2, you're saving money. I'll just mention quickly on the county thing. So there is, we have not seen, Nate might have seen it before I did, but there is potential money, there is money itemized for community paramedicine in the Rural Transition Fund. That's at the county level. And I mean, one of our hopes is that we are positioning the city of Waterville to be a leader in the region with a well-accounted for program that might be a good competitor for more regional service delivery. So I'll say that.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to city manager report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will go through the report that is in the agenda. First, starting with Taconic Bridge closure dates. I've mentioned this on a couple occasions, but it's coming upon us, and I want to reiterate that the bridge will be closed to traffic for March 9th through March 16th for the work they are doing. So you can prepare accordingly to get where you need to be. The next one is tax acquired properties for sale. I've been giving regular updates on this as well, and two of the properties are before you tonight for various degrees of voting on accepting offers, and then the last of the properties for sale is in process with our realtors, Plord Real Estate, and we will keep you updated in the coming weeks as that progresses towards the same process as the ones that are before you tonight. The 2026-27 budget process, just like last week's meeting or the prior meeting and last month, I gave the workshop meeting schedule in the agenda packet, but it was missing one of the dates. So I wanted to include the correct and most up-to-date one that has all the dates. And that will be up on the city website under the city council portion of the website for people to view as early as tomorrow. Similarly, the 2026 council goals, which were recently adopted by the city council, will be up on the website, or already up on the website, actually, under the city council portion of the website as well. Furthermore, it was mentioned that quarterly reports should go up there as well, and we can certainly make that happen as those come to light. And also, those have been shared with department heads that manage our various departments at the city. So they're aware of what the council goals are. So when we report on them, they'll have line of sight to be able to keep track of how we're progressing on those aims. The next thing I've included is entitled Warming and Cooling Operations Plan. I won't go into too much detail, but the reason I put that on this is because some members of the community, people with large hearts for the more vulnerable residents, when there's very cold times, they sometimes reach out to members of the council, the mayor, and myself to see if there's a plan in place to take care of those most vulnerable. And the most helpful thing is our community partnerships, like the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter, very much stepping up to the plate. But then the question was asked, is there a city plan as well beyond those partners? And this plan that will go up on the website tomorrow, and it will be under the fire department drop down, is part of that answer. But it's a little bit nuanced because the plan that's up there is contingent upon some needs that aren't always met, like a reliance on volunteers that must be trained. So on the same page where this will be located tomorrow on the website under the fire department is information if people want to be trained to be a volunteer. And then furthermore, we're fortunate, as I said, like the partners at the shelter are trained and have the facilities to do it right, and we're very fortunate for that. But the facilities that the city have aren't equipped or appropriate for all of the needs. So that's something that can be considered if the city would like to transition to that in the future, being able to mobilize more services. That's a values question or a budget question to see. But this plan outlines in extreme situations that are state guidelines how we could step up and with volunteers. And then obviously, if there's very extreme situations like mass power outages and people are in need, we will mobilize with staff if it comes to that. But that will incur a cost, but we would certainly do that like was done in 2023, I believe, when there was such power outages. So just wanted to give line of sight and respect that people would ask to see what the plan is, and if they have questions thereafter, they can reach the manager's office through myself. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee has its first meeting this Thursday, March 5th at 2 p.m. in this very location. And that should be a great time to discuss some of the priorities of what that committee thinks the Parks and Rec departments and services could prioritize with the available funding sources, and then it could provide recommendations to the council for consideration. And when there's memorandums of understanding of different partnerships, they can be participants in reviewing those and then passing that along to the council for your consideration as well. So excited to see that start soon. And those are open to the public if they wish to come, and we will also post notices on the website. The next one, there was, as probably all of you know, unfortunately a tragic and fatal motor vehicle accident on Upper Main Street on February 22nd. And our thoughts and prayers and hearts go out to those affected, the family and friends of the one person who lost their life. And I want to thank the first responders for their dedication at the scene to do what they could, and just wanted to put that out there. And the last one is on a more uplifting note. I wanted to give some recognition where it was due. Someone that's here in the audience tonight, participating as well, our own Matt Skane, is the Public Works and Parks and Recreation Director for the city. I'm pleased and proud to be able to say he's been awarded the Municipal Employee of the Year by the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce in their awards ceremony, and that's going to be April 30th. And when we get closer to that event, we will give some more credit where it's due to Matt, as well as I'm certainly going to attend the ceremony itself, but we can do something here as it gets closer. But I didn't want to mention it until the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce, whose award ceremony it is, had publicized it, which they just did. So congratulations, Matt, and we're proud to have you part of our crew.
Well deserved.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on to council comments and/or committee reports. Any councilors have any comments or committee reports this evening? Seeing none, I will turn it over to Andrea from our youth council, kind of fill us in on all the good things we're doing over there.
Last night we looked at language from the state and we worked on drafting a dark sky ordinance for the city and deciding what we want to include in that.
Awesome, yeah. So last night, the state had put out some model language that I guess went into law, recommendations that municipalities could adopt. And the youth council went through them and kind of said what works for Waterville. There's a lot of stuff that's more done for state, and there are some things for the municipality. So going through and just kind of figuring out which works best for us, and they're working to put that together and start spreading it out, getting some feedback. So be on the lookout for that. So awesome, thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I will move on to public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to make a comment, please let me know. You here for a comment, sir?
Well, I think he wants to speak to the agenda item about the MOU.
Okay, fair enough. All right, anyone wishing to make a public? Nancy.
Nancy Sanford, Ward 1. And after the last city council meeting, I was not surprised but disappointed when I asked Nick if any of that $480,000 that's coming to the city for the for downtown, I'm not sure what to call it, but downtown pedestrian walkways and that sort of thing, could be used also for safety on College Avenue and KMD. And he told me that it can be because of the grant that it is. And so my hope, because we've talked about the need for both on KMD and College Avenue, increased pedestrian safety, that we don't just forget about that, because honest to goodness, and I'm in a car, particularly on KMD, when I drive up KMD, I feel like I'm often taking my life in my hands. People speed, red lights don't seem to mean much sometimes to some people. Those of us, and I'm one of them, I probably frustrate a lot of people because I actually go 25 miles an hour when that's the speed limit. And on College Avenue, which I actually use more than I do KMD since I live on May Street, the times that I see people trying to get from one side of College Ave to the other, I just sort of like grit my teeth because I'm afraid somebody is going to hit them, or they're going to make it halfway through, over and not. And so that's my hope and my ask. Thanks.
Thank you, Nancy. Anyone else for public comment this evening? Leo? No, we're good. You can go. Leo? Nope. You're fine. He's here for another item, so I was confused. So, yeah, it's okay.
I can't hear either.
Chainsaws will do that to you.
Kids. Quick question. This is more of a budget issue, but I'm very curious. I haven't seen it. I've been looking, but I'm not real good at looking. What is the income? Who gets the income from the solar farm revenue on the West River Road? Curious about that. I can't see it in the budget anywhere. I know the city spent money on remediating some of the issues that was created by that project, and I'd like to see how it all flushed out. If we're at that point where we had income, we had expenses, did the airport get the money, did the city get the money? Who paid for the repairs on the Webb Road and the drainage issues that occurred from that project and the subsequent trail stuff and loss of forestation? There's a lot of numbers out there. Back to numbers and budget issues, I've mentioned to the city in the past, certain officials, that I think what we should start doing is be a little more creative with our ad space, available ad space, whether it's at ball fields, on city trucks, city gardens, as an opportunity to collect either some sort of revenue from ad space on those spots, or possibly collect free work. A lot of towns adopt a garden. Fieldstone Gardens, any number of nurseries could adopt a garden spot, do that garden spot, and in return they get an ad space. It's a way for the city to get prettier, better looking, kept cleaner at no cost. And it also allows ad space for those companies that they couldn't normally, either get or afford. Wrigley Field could sell ad space. Any of the city parks could sell ad space. We have a sign on North Street. Why couldn't we put that out to bid? We have a neon sign or a light-up sign. Someone could put an ad up there, and for $100 a month, your company could advertise there every other day. Mm-hmm. So money's going to get tighter. I don't know who recognizes that, but in the next 2 years, it's going to get tighter. Mm-hmm. So kind of my 2 cents. I'd really like to see in next city council, though, someone answer this question about the solar farm income/expenses.
Yeah, Nick writes this stuff down. Like, this is, council comment. It's not a discussion. So again, anything that's directed, he'll get back to you. Absolutely.
Cool beans.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anyone else? All right. With that, can I entertain a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion for consent agenda.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Wonderful, thank you. With that, I will entertain a motion to read by title only.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right, thank you. With that, we move into old business, Resolution 34, 2026.
Approve the restated memorandum of understanding with Alphon Youth and Community Center for Purnell Wrigley Field.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. Councilor Beal.
I propose that we table this for discussion at the Recreation Committee meeting on Thursday, and then from that committee, we can come back with a recommendation to the council at the next meeting.
I agree wholeheartedly, but...
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
before we get a second, can we
I know.
have? All right,
Thank
just
you.
making sure.
appreciate that. Yes, this gentleman, once we table and we vote, like, that's it, ends the conversation. This gentleman came here to say something with regard to that, so we're going to allow him to do that, and then we will take that up. So if you don't mind pausing that just for one moment. Sir, now you can get, like, make your comment.
I give you a hand, sir. Can I help you? Yep. Yep. There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Morris Lasky. My address is 50 Matthews Avenue, Waterville, Maine. I have a home there where I've lived since 1977. Thank you, Waterville City councilors, for listening to the statement I have prepared. I am greatly opposed to the continued use of Harnett Wrigley Field. When games are played nearly every day from early morning to late evening, it is disturbing and often annoying. The city would not allow this level of noise to come from my property. The heightened usage does not belong in a residential neighborhood. A more suitable location should have been found for Harnett Wrigley Field.
Thank you very much.
With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll second Councilor Beal's motion.
Okay. Yeah, hold on a second. Is there anybody else that's here to speak with regard to this agenda item? All right. Seeing none, I will entertain, so we have a first and a second to table this until our next meeting, which is on the 17th. That'll be the opportunity to give the opportunity for the Recreation Committee to review this on Thursday and get you guys some more information. So with that, all those in favor? Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Order 47, 2026.
Approve sale of city property, 26 Reddington Street.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, this is a second reading for an approval of sale of property. Any discussion? Anything change? We're still good? All right, seeing none. Patty, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Burdick?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
All right, wonderful, thank you. Moving on to Resolution 49, 2026.
Approve the memorandum of understanding parking agreement with Snow Pond Center for Arts.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Nick, you want to just kind of give?
Certainly. This is an agreement that has been done in prior years, and it has gone off without a hitch, a very good partnership. And this is because some of their biggest names that they have draw a large enough audience where they need additional parking. And at the airport, there is some locations that don't disrupt the operations at the airport that serve that well, and they have a shuttle service, and they've got it down to a science, and they also fully staff that as needed and give some funds to the city. And the airport director has assured us it's worked very well in the past.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate this partnership a lot. I think it's great. You know, good venue, trying to make a name for itself. So I'm glad we can certainly accommodate, you know, their needs as they look to grow. So great. Any councilor comments or questions? Anyone from the public? All right, all those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, moving on to Resolution 50, 2026.
Approve memorandum of understanding with Bram Public Policy Lab, Colby College, tree inventory.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Matt, or
Yeah.
you guys both want to kick this off? I mean, it's like,
Yeah, well, Nick, if you wouldn't mind getting started, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
It's our next one.
Yeah.
Little simpler, but I think just as important, a different area of public policy. This one, I'm confident I'll save you money. Because what we're doing is we're taking on services that you would have had to contract out. And we're going to create a learning opportunity for students to create a more public-facing and a tool for the city to use on a tree inventory that has already been done, and help these guys do their work, help the tree board deliberate effectively on where the canopy is light, where there's threat of ash borers, and we have a quick turnaround on this. I'm hoping to get a working prototype done. I was able to, there's no shortage of interest among my students. Got a student like that. We're gonna have a working prototype by early April, and hopefully we wrap this up in May, so you guys can start planning. So that's my shtick.
yeah, we think it's great. One more plug for Nate Bernard. He put us in touch. It was his idea. It's not something that would have occurred to me. You know, I had heard about the paramedicine, but I didn't, you know, I wasn't just putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
So just a plug for him. Had a nice meeting at the office with Nick and Nate last week or the week before. So to them, it's easy. To me, it's, you know, all this data. We had over 500 trees, well, probably closer to 700 or 800 trees with all the inventory. There's a lot of data. And we want to be able to use it. You know,
Yeah.
we want the task force to be able to understand it and use it. We want to be able to plug things in. And like Nick said, there's a program through the group that did the tree inventory, but it's costly. You have to get an annual membership. Actually, it's every 2 years, but it's very costly. You have to do it every 2 years. So this will certainly save us money. So we're very happy that
Awesome.
this is happening. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Any questions from the council? All right, Council Green.
So is this supporting the work of the tree task force?
It'll be a tool that the tree
Okay.
task force uses. Yes, a very important tool.
Okay, and so this is about deciding where the trees
Correct.
should be planted?
Correct.
Got it.
I have some other agenda items, but yeah, in managing the inventory as we move forward.
Right.
All
Which
street
is-
trees within the cities right away were inventoried, so we have data on all of them, species, condition, size. So yeah, I mean, we can have a real plan now, so we're excited about that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, with that, all those in favor? Excellent. Okay, moving on to Resolution 51, 2026.
Authorize the city manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Brand Public Policy Lab, Colby College.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Nick, do you want to kick this off? I think this is just so we don't have to come
Yeah,
all the time.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Rethink, were we just redoing the same item? No, because we've developed such a good working relationship with the Policy Lab, we'd like to have the council's authority to continue that work and perhaps not always ask for permission, but rather be able to meet with them on new projects to discuss and then bring it to you thereafter versus, having to bring a separate agreement each time. Realize that this partnership should continue, and then we'll give you line of sight on any project thereafter.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Any questions from the council? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, Resolution 52, 2026.
Award a bid to Fieldstone Gardens for the purchase and installation of trees.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Hi.
Yeah, so excited about this, very excited about this. 2024, the city manager at the time put together a beautification bond, $100,000, $25,000 was used for the Appleton Street project landscaping, which I think came out very well. And then we commissioned the tree inventory with Bartlett Tree Company, very comprehensive, very happy with that. Now we're looking to actually plant the trees, which was really the ultimate goal of the beautification bond. So we feel like the timing is just right for it now, especially with the Project Canopy grant, with the Policy Lab, with everything coming together. We feel that we can really make good decisions that will serve the city well for the next couple hundred years, because that's how long trees live.
Yeah.
I'm going to thank the Tree Task Force when it comes to Project Canopy. So as far as specimens and locations, right, we'll determine those through the data that we have. They haven't been predetermined. The contractor, Fieldstone Gardens, we're very confident in them. The city's done work with them in the past. They're relatively local, coming from Vassalboro. They'll also be good resources as far as what species we put where, because they've done a lot of this. This is what they do. So we'll also lean on them for locations and specimen of trees. In all, just over a dozen, I think, specimen of trees were quoted. And it's important to have a variety because, when there are invasive species like emerald ash borer or Dutch elm disease, they can't wipe everything out. So it's really, really important for us to have, good diversity as far as the street trees go. Yep.
All right. Any questions for Matt? Great. Well, thank you very much, and thank you to the tree committee. I appreciate all the work that goes into it and your passion for trees, and thank you very much. So it's now nice to see some of the, I guess the leaves of your labor, I guess we'll say. So let's go with that. Huh? Still got it. There we go. All right. With that, can I all those in favor? All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 53, 2026.
Award a bid to All Pro Striping and Seal Coating for traffic painting, hand striping of city streets.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Yep, so we were happy to get 4 bids. This is, I believe, the 3rd year that we've subbed out the hand striping. So hand striping, if you didn't know, includes parking stalls, crosswalks, stop bars, and arrows. We have a hard June 30 end date for the work to be done. That's, of course, if the weather isn't horribly wet. The contractor is committed to holding that date. It's important to us. I mean, crosswalks really are the most important thing. So we're going to try to work with them because we need to clean the streets first because the streets will be filthy, come May and June. So we'll get them cleaned up and then they'll get going, and we really want them to get out on the crosswalks first and then take care of the parking stalls and the parking stop bars and the arrows. This group did work for the city a couple years ago. We were happy with them. It took them a little bit longer than we had hoped, but we didn't build any deadlines into that, so we didn't really have recourse. So yeah, they do that, and the city still maintains the center lines and the fog lines. So it's been very efficient for us. We should be able to have everything done by sometime in July.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it came in under budget too, so that's another good.
Oh,
Happy
see?
with that. Yeah.
Lead with that next time. That's a good one. All right. Any questions, comments from the council? So we still do, like, we still have the equipment. We do things, like you said, we do center lines and the, what are they, like I guess the breakdown lanes? Like
Yeah,
what we call
exactly.
them?
Yeah.
And then if there's an issue and there needs to be an in-between, can we do crosswalks?
We
and
can.
things?
Yeah, we
okay.
can touch them up when things get faded out in August, September, around the schools. Oftentimes we do go out and freshen them up, so we do have the ability to do that.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. All right, with that, all those in favor? Wonderful. Okay, moving on to Resolution 54, 2026.
Authorize the city manager to sign the agreement between the Waterville Area Humane Society and the City of Waterville for stray services.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, Nick, yeah.
I'm happy to cue that up. I spoke with the police department, and they assured me that this is statutorily required, so it's not optional, but they did meet with the Humane Society to negotiate the best terms possible and to continue that relationship for providing that service that we're required to provide and the best deal for the city. And furthermore, the Humane Society was able to give us a shorter contract so we could get on a fiscal year versus calendar year to align with our budget. So if it's now a short one, we'll revisit it at the close of the fiscal year to re-up it, so then we'll have that regular cycle versus being off by 6 months.
Okay, so this is going to come out between now and June, then we're going to have another one in June that'll get us back get us on a cycle that we didn't have previously. Perfect, okay. Any questions or comments from the council? All right, with that, can I, all those in favor? All right, wonderful, thank you very much. All right, moving on to Resolution 55, 2026.
Approve waiver of bid process for a complete motor rebuild of engine 3.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Good evening.
Hello. Just a quick backstory. We started having some engine problems with engine 3, or motor problems with engine 3. We did bring it over to Public Works. They did take a look at it a couple times, unable to find out what the issue was. They kind of said, I mean, this looks like it's going to be a big deal, and it's probably beyond what we would like to touch. So we appreciated that. We did call Rokey's, correct? Rokey's in Winslow, which is a place that we use quite often for our big trucks. Rokey basically said, we don't want to touch that. So it is a Cummins. We looked at the only Cummins dealership that we had in this area. There's only one in Maine. We had to have it towed down there because we still had no idea what was wrong with the motor. They tore it apart. They did some diagnostic issues on it, and we need to have it rebuilt. The motor needs to be rebuilt. So the truck is sitting down there as we speak in pieces. If we had to go through a bid process, we'd have to find somebody else that wanted to bid on it, and then we'd have to tow it there. The nice thing about going with this is a Cummins, this is a certified Cummins dealership. So if they do rebuild the motor, we do get a 1-year warranty on it, where we wouldn't get that with anybody else. We'd like to stay with Cummins, certified dealership. There's only 4 Cummins around this area, one in Scarborough, one in New Brunswick, one in Ontario, and then one in Massachusetts. So this is by far the closest one, and it's already there. So we believe that this is the city purchasing ordinance, section 61-5, waiver of bid process number 3. We did have the city attorney look at this, and he agrees that this is okay.
Yes, I concur. That was one of the things when this came up in our agenda setting meeting. I'm like, has Bill looked at this? Because waiving these in the past has always come back to not look favorably on us. So I wanted to make sure that we did that, and yeah, everything was good. But this did fit the criteria for this particular motion. So with that, any questions for the council with regard to this item?
How long is it going to be out of service for?
If we started it last week, it'd be by the end of the month, so maybe 1st of April, I hope. Yeah, knock on wood. I also said the other day I haven't been sick all year long. I knocked on wood, that didn't help, so I'm not knocking on any wood anymore. Like, I'm just hoping that it's going to be done very soon. Yeah.
All right, well, with that, I will entertain all those in favor. All right, so we waive the bid process, brings us to Resolution 56, 2026.
Approve use of funds from Fire Department Cost Recovery Account to do a complete motor overhaul of Engine 3.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, so this basically is the avenue to pay for this?
That is correct. We do not have the money in our normal operating budget to fix this. We do have the money in cost recovery. There's a question whether we have 70,000 or 96,000. We tried to get that taken care of the other day, but we were kind of up against getting this in. So we do have enough money in there to take this out. I'm asking for up to $26,000 just for any type of overages we may have or things that they may find that's still wrong with the truck. We're hoping that will be enough to get this taken care of.
Okay.
While Engine 3 is out, is there something else you're using, or are you down a fire apparatus?
We are down a fire apparatus, that's correct. We're fingers crossed that they all stay together in the meantime. No, don't knock on wood. I don't think that's wood anyway, so. Yeah, so we're down to our tower, which, oh gosh, never mind. The tower is there and running, and so is Engine 2. Yes.
We're going to leave it just like right
just
there.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments, questions?
Looks like Leo has one.
Yeah, you can't, not from there, because nobody will hear you.
Mostly just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Nosiness. How many hours are on this engine? And what causes? It seems like they're not that busy.
Well,
like the big truck. I don't know. I don't work there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So, just quickly, we average about 5,700 calls a year in the city of Waterville. We have 2 engines and a tower, and then some ambulances. 5,700 calls is a massive amount of calls for a city this size. That is the same call volume as South Portland. So you can imagine that these trucks are on the road a lot. Right now, because of the way that we're set up, we have to, on some times, we have to run an extra vehicle out to an ambulance call, and that is part of what our Dr. Pay has had us do. Right now, that has to be an engine, because that's the only thing we have somebody in that can go on a call. With the hiring of the 4, we have switched lanes. We will not be taking an engine anymore, because that engine and that person that drives it can stay in the station, and we will be using that extra person to chase calls in the smaller rescue vehicle, hopefully taking some pressure off of our big trucks. And to your question, I think Jason can answer ours, and I'll answer some of the problem with these big trucks, especially fire trucks, and you'll find this is not uncommon. These are big diesel motors that they sit there not running. And if you know anybody that has a trucking service, they start their trucks, they let them warm up, they constantly, right? And half the time they don't shut them down. We go from 0 to started to on the floor trying to get that truck to a call. So there's really no other way to do it. And you'll find across the board that this is not uncommon to have engine problems in fire trucks like this. And the truck it's a 2013, so it's pushing 12, 13 years old this year. And Jason it's not the mileage that kills us, it's usually the hours and how they're being used. If you've ever been on a fire scene, when these trucks are pumping to max capacity, you'll hear these things it's not like they're just sitting there idling or driving down the road at 50, 60 miles an hour, at like 1,500 RPMs. Like they're pushing 3,000, 4,000 RPMs for hours at a time. So it's the hard hours that they're being put on. This is Jason Joler. He's our maintenance overseer for the fire department. So if there's anything to do with trucks, this is the guy right here.
Hi. So it's got 7,746 hours on it right now. National average, it goes between 30 and 60 as far as how many miles they say per truck hour. So if you use the low number of 30 at 7,746 hours, realistically, it puts about 100,000 miles on the truck. Even though the actual odometer only says 74,000, truck's got a lot more than that. And as he said, in 10 seconds, you go from starting the motor to flooring it. Fire trucks live a rough life. They're heavy, they're overweight, they're uncomparable to anything else. Dump trucks, 18-wheelers, they take a beating. This one has lasted 13 years. Honestly, doesn't owe the city a dime. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joeler.
Okay, any questions for the chief? All right, with that, all those in favor? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, moving on to Resolution 57, 2026.
Accept the annual reports for the Affordable Housing TIF districts.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Nick?
Yes, this is just a normal annual protocol. When you have affordable housing TIFs, which Waterville has a number of them, you must report to the state how they're all doing in terms of the number of units, because they want to keep track of that locally and statewide.
All right, well, thank you very much. All right, any questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, moving on to Resolution 58, 2026.
Adoption of the political solicitation and campaign activity policy.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Patty, why do we need this?
There was, I'm part of an affiliate group with the Maine Towns and City Clerks Association. There was a lot of discussion among members of our group about requests for signature collection within municipal buildings, and they were having trouble with them, and they were looking for sample policies and that sort of thing. So I looked into some of the policies, discussed it with the city manager, and we thought that it would be prudent to develop a policy because it could become unwieldy quite quickly. I also checked with the chief, Chief Frost, to ask him if there were some considerations about fire safety as far as, the width of the entrance at City Hall and whether we could be in a situation if there were, a lot of people that had requested to collect signatures. He thought it could be, it would be safer if we did have a policy that we wouldn't then have to worry about that becoming a violation and a safety concern. So we had some sample policies, and we drafted language based on some of the sample policies from other communities in the state.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the council? All right. Anyone from the public? Seeing none? Yes.
I'm just wondering if so this is during elections or just during any course of?
During business hours.
During business hours.
Correct.
Right, okay.
When
And
the
does that-
public is coming and going, doing regular business.
Yes, okay. And does that include this building?
No,
No.
just City Hall.
Just City Hall? Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, all those in favor? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Order 59, 2026.
Accept the Project Canopy Community Forestry Assistance Grant for Planning and Education.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Hi.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, right, very happy that we have been awarded this grant. It's the first grant for planning and development that we've gotten in the last 10 years. I think we've been awarded 3 or 4 Project Canopy grants, but they've all been for planting and maintenance. So this one is different, and it comes at a time with invasives and all kinds of different things out there that weren't that prevalent 20 years ago that exist now. So this will be very useful for us. I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for the tree task force. So it was last March, about a year ago, that the task force was put together for this purpose. So I would like to introduce them.
Please.
They've done amazing work. So like I said, it's been a year, and I think they've met just about every week. I can't make every meeting, but I try to make as many as I can. They're very passionate, very knowledgeable. So I believe Cindy Ecker is online. I can't tell, but she's a key member. And from left to right, we have Ann Beveridge, Claire Protnicki, Sharon Saunders, and Joe Ashburn. Yep. So really, sincerely, they were very helpful in writing this grant, initiating the process. So it's $16,700 from the Department of Conservation and Forestry. It must be matched 50-50. We'll be using some funds from our operating budget, which is what the parks budget is for. So I think that that's a pretty no-brainer, wise use of funds. The grant includes up to $11,000 in treatment of roughly 30 trees for emerald ash borer. So of course, there's not a lot that you can do for emerald ash borer with trees in the forest, but there are specimen trees all around town that we would like to designate and save if we can. Those trees require service or maintenance every 2 years to keep them alive. The efficacy of the program that Bartlett uses anyways is very, it's about 90% of trees that are treated. If they have at least 50% canopy come spring, then they have a 90% chance of surviving. So there will be trees that we do want to keep, ash trees. And then this grant will help us determine how to handle the larger volume of ash trees that we're going to lose. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Anything? Okay, with that, all those in favor? Wonderful, thank you. Okay, moving on to Order 60-2026.
Approved sale of city property for Union Place.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, Nick?
This is similar to the one that you approved earlier this evening. It's just at a different stage of the process. So this one is at its first reading, and you'll see it again one more time, as was the case with the other property. We put it out through the real estate broker and take the offer that we think is the best. That's usually the highest one, but not always. And then pay the city back for any back taxes or fees, and then follow the state process for returning any extra to the prior owners.
All right, any councilor?
Do we know how many offers we received on these properties, either this one or the previous one?
On this one, I believe it was 3, but I could check and let you know, and I believe we took the highest one of the 3.
Okay, it was just curiosity for how in demand these properties are.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Ordinance 61-2026.
Amend the zoning map, 99 Webb Road.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Ann, good evening. You want to? Well, I mean, what? What's the matter? Yeah. That's true. I believe that. Well.
Mr. St. Peter requested rezoning for his property in order to be able to keep farm animals, and that's what this is about.
Okay. Right.
Including chickens.
Right, okay. Got to add that in there, don't you, Ann? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, this went to the planning board on the 24th. In the memo in the packet, the board did vote 5-0 in favor of recommending that the city council do rezone the property as requested. And Tom Nail Sr. abstained for whatever reason. Okay, any questions or comments from the council? Seeing none. Want to say anything, or are you good? Very good. All those in favor? Wonderful. Okay, with that, I will move to entertain a motion to move into executive session, consultations with legal counsel, 1 MRS 4056E.
Motion to go into executive session.
A second.
And all those in favor? All right, thank you very much.
Are we
For those
supposed
in
to
the
say we're
public,
not
this is
coming
the
back?
end of the meeting. We will not be taking any other votes or any other thing once we come out of executive session. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and we will see